Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode here in NHL 24. So in last episode, we had the draft and re-sign stage coming off our Stanley Cup victory, and it was a pretty weak draft class to say the least. We didn't really get too many good prospects, but that's okay for now because we're not really fully into that rebuild territory yet. We're still looking to probably try and get one more Stanley Cup, but if obviously we're not doing good at the trade deadline by this upcoming season, then we'll probably look to start making some changes to our team to make us go back into a rebuild, because obviously we do have some pending free agents that are big, like Kyle Connors going into the last season of his contract. I do still think I want to hold on to him until he retires, but he could be one of these players that we would flip away at the deadline if our team's not doing well. There's also guys like Hellebuck, for example, and Scheifele who are still signed here long term that we could eventually flip away. So we do have the assets to move out if this team definitely doesn't do well. But I definitely still think this team has it in them to probably make it to the playoffs for one more season, because at the moment we have a pretty good looking roster, but we are going to be still adding a few pieces here in the offseason that we could easily flip away if our team isn't doing well. But you can see right now we still have like Connor, Scheifele, Perfetti, Barabanov's back for another season, which is exciting. Chinnikov's here on his 8-year extension now, I think, kicking in, which is awesome. Adam Lowry's still here for one more season, so he's another one of those guys that we could trade away if this team's not doing well. David Gustafson's still here, and quite a few others. Our defensive core is still looking relatively strong, with Morrissey obviously being here for another 2 seasons, I think. 3 seasons? Yeah, 3 seasons before he is a UFA. So with him, I'd like also to hold on to him until he retires technically. But if we end up having to lose him because we're in a rebuilding state, we might have to do that. But we do have like Nick Hague signed long term, which is good for like 5 seasons. Filia Heinola is still here for a while. Matt Roy's a pending free agent, so another guy that could get flipped potentially. Jan Ruda as well, even though he was a playoff GOAT. And then we have some good young players who might make the jump to the NHL this coming season, might not make the NHL jump right away because we might be adding another veteran piece first. Christian Kyrou is on the closing in on an NHL position. As you can see, he's developing quite well. We got him in the trade. What did we trade to Dallas? I can't remember. But we did get him and Logan Stankoven from the Dallas Stars. So, yeah, Kyrou might be able to crack our defensive core this season, but there's a good chance I might leave him in the AHL for one more season, and then he could come in and hopefully be a really good defenseman for us next season after this. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. And obviously our goaltending situation is still pretty good with Hellebuck. We don't have a backup, but I think I might honestly just give Salminen the backup time because the fact we already technically have like 4 goalies, I just don't really know if I want to sign a backup goalie for our team. I might just want to give a chance to Salminen to see what he could do at the NHL level, but obviously we could sign a backup in this episode as well, which might not be a bad idea, but at the same time I'd rather run Milic and Grant in the AHL, so we'll see what happens with that. But anyways, let's get into some comments before we get into free agency, maybe actually making some trades too, which is exciting to say the least. So the first comment is from Saturn Otaku, who says, at least Cam is only 17, so he'll have a bit of extra time to develop. I think at worst he'll end up being a serviceable bottom sixer. Definitely put Grant in the AHL right away. Will be interesting to see if he ends up panning out as an NHL backup. And yeah, at least Cam, who we drafted in the first round, is 17 years old. As you can see, where is he? Right there. He's actually turned 18 just now. But you can see he's a 63 overall top 6 forward. He looks like he could be a pretty solid 2-way. Does have good shooting categories. Like, he doesn't really have any weakness. His faceoffs definitely could be better as a centerman, but for right now, obviously, he's still a decent prospect, and hopefully he could develop into at least a top 6 role. But if he doesn't, hopefully he at least gets to be a decent bottom 6 option for our team. And yeah, I totally agree about Grant using him as our backup goaltender in the AHL, because I think he's probably one of our more intriguing goalie prospects, in the sense that when we drafted him, he's a 71 overall at 18, which is great. But having only a high backup potential, I'm kind of concerned that he might not develop. But I'm hoping that he obviously does. He's really balanced, so he might end up being just a really good AHL goaltender, which would be kind of cool to hold on to for his entire career. But obviously at some point we're going to need to start drafting some good goalies with actually good potentials, like medium elites and stuff like that, to replace Connor Hellebuck, because obviously at the moment we don't really have a replacement for him, because Milic isn't going to really pan out, I don't think, at this rate. And then the rest of these guys are like backups and fringe starters that aren't even really high overall wise. So at the moment, we don't really have a replacement. Next comment is from Pens Gaming 7, who says, sign any backup goalie that is under $1 million, not worth spending much on them. Definitely sign a big-time defenseman, would go with Larson on a 2-year deal, but maybe Hedman too. Also, forward Atkinson seems like a fun player to bring in on a short term to replace Ehlers. You're going to be rebuilding soon anyway with this aging core, so wouldn't worry too much with age. There's more we talked about from the Discord, but that's the main point. And yeah, we were talking on the Discord about some potential things that we could bring into this team. And I know that he's mentioning Atkinson here, and I want to bring in Atkinson kind of too. But there is another player that's a little bit more intriguing, which I'll get to in a bit when we actually start doing the trade, which is on Arizona, which obviously you guys would have seen in last episode if you watched to that point. But we'll get to that in a little bit. But he does say to sign a backup goalie, so maybe we will sign a backup goalie and then have like Salmon as like a scratched AHL goalie or a scratched NHL goalie if there's any injury problems. Yeah, maybe we'll do something like that, so that way we actually have a legit backup, but we got to see what's out there first as well. He was also saying to sign Adam Larson, but maybe Hedman too. I don't think Hedman's something I'm going to bring in just because of the fact we don't really have the use for somebody like Hedman because we got Morrissey. But in terms of bringing in Adam Larson, I think that would be a great addition for our team because at the moment, Christian Kyrou would be our top 6 defenseman. That's a right-handed D-man, and I said I want to give him maybe one more year in the AHL. Well, Adam Larson's a right-handed defenseman. He's a bit better than what we had with Tanev last season. So bringing in somebody like Larson to replace him is not bad. He's a little bit younger. He wants only a tiny bit more than what Chris Tanev was wanting, and he is 2 overall points better. So I think bringing in Adam Larson as a shutdown D-man would be really good for this team. Like, he would be probably really good next to somebody like Morrissey, my guess. But according to this, he would fit our third pairing and power play lines, which is still pretty decent. So yeah, likely we bring Adam Larson in if we can. There is a couple other teams interested, so kind of scared that he might end up going to a different team. If he ends up doing that, we might honestly just revert back to going into Chris Tanev for a year because Chris Tanev was actually really good with us. And then the last and final comment is from Michael Dosis. Says, I don't have the game. Is there a slider that you use to decide if drafts are weak or strong, or is it a luck of the draw sort of thing? Also, if the draft is that bad, why not trade away 3rd to 7th round picks for next season? Yeah, there is a thing that is set up draft class quality, but for some reason, we just had a really weak draft last episode. Like, I don't know if it's because it has still real prospects in it, but if we go over here to settings here in franchise mode, and we go to, I think it is under rules, if I remember right. Need to double check on this thing. If we go down to here, though, there is, draft class quality. See, it was set to medium. I never set it ever to low unless I'm in my custom rosters, but usually I always leave it on medium. But if we put it to high, then the draft class would be really easy to get good players in, so I always usually leave it on medium. So I don't know why that draft class was as bad as it was, but apparently it was. So hopefully next year's draft is better and future drafts are better as well, especially when we get into that rebuilding territory. So anyways, those were the comments I got in last episode. So let's get into first the potential trades that I was talking with Pens in the Discord. Once again, if you have not joined the Discord, highly recommend it. A lot of fun people over there. We sometimes, most of the time, actually talk in there. A lot of the time, it's the same type of people, but still, it's a really fun time to talk about like franchise mode and other games and all that type of thing. So if you haven't joined, go do so. Link is always in the description, but let's see what we could do with the trade, because he was basically suggesting we go after Matias Michelli and Nick Schmaltz. Now, Nick Schmaltz is somebody I don't think we could afford at this time, unfortunately, based on what Arizona wants for him. Like, if I look at what they want just for Nick Schmaltz straight up, it's a bit steep. You can see they want Connor Hellebuyck a second in Jan Ruda, or they want a first-round pick in Neg Hague, and I'm not willing to give up both those type of things at the moment, so I don't think it's worth it. Hopefully we could circle back to Nick Schmaltz maybe closer to the deadline if we're a playoff team. But Matias Michelli, the asking price for him is really not that bad, so I think we are going to bring in Matias Michelli as like a second/third line left wing, and he'll likely be playing with guys like maybe Chinnikov or Barabanov, that type of thing. But yeah, basically there is 5 different offers for him. So there's Roy, a 4th, and Milic, which I'm not willing to do that because I want to kind of hold on to Matt Roy, I think, for one more season, at least for now. There's also the 2 third-round picks in Tyrell Bauer, and I think this is the deal we are going to do because Tyrell Bauer really isn't that big of a prospect for us. And in 2 third-round picks, like we've seen in the later drafts, they aren't really anything anyways. So I think we're likely going to do that one. But there's also ones like Heinola and Ivanov, which I don't really want to move out. Heinola, there's Kyrou, Alexandrov, and Milic, which isn't bad either, but Kyrou does pan out to being a really good defenseman in franchise mode, at least that I've seen in my other series. And then there's Galvis, Alexandrov, and Milic, which I don't really want to get out of Galvis just yet because he hasn't even played an NHL game at this point, or AHL game. So I think we're going to do this two third-rounders in Tyrell Bauer, because I don't think Tyrell Bauer's that good, if I remember right. Let's see. He's a 72 at 23, which is not really that bad for a medium 7th, but you can see that he's not really going to pan out. He was a former 6th-round pick of the Jets, and him being already 23 and only a 72, he's going to be like an AHL defenseman at best. And these two third-rounders could end up being decent players, but Matias Michelli, he's only 24 years old, and should be able to help bring in some offense for our team. Has great shooting, great offensive awareness. In real life, this guy's a phenomenal passer. Like, he's probably one of my favorite players in the league. Also wears my favorite number 63, which is kind of cool. So I would love to bring this guy into our team. So this is going to be the trade. 2 third-round picks and Bauer for Matias Michelli. So welcome aboard to Matias Michelli. I think that's a great addition for our team. Yes, it maybe sucks for some of the players in the AHL to get rid of Bauer, but Bauer wasn't going to become much anyways. Okay, so now in terms of our forward group here, we have a decent forward group. Like you can see right now, Michelli probably gets put in on a line with either Barabanov or Chinnikov, like I was saying. Probably Chinnikov, my guess, but it could be Barabanov. And then, yeah, basically our forward core is starting to come together quite a bit. Once like Velarde signed here too, we have like basically our entire top 9 should be like 83 plus overall, which is pretty good at this point in time. Let me see what else I wrote down on this paper. I'm an old school person writing down things. Maybe it's just my age. I don't know. But what else did I write down? I said that we need a 4th line right winger and a depth center, and then also to sign Adam Larsson. So we are going to give Adam Larsson a contract and see if we could sign him for our defensive core. And then we will also sign ourselves some like 4th line / depth pieces for our team. Because if we go to defenseman at the moment, this is what I was meaning about Adam Larsson. You can see basically our defensive core right now, we have 3 solid left-handers. We have technically 3 solid right-handers with Kyrou, but I want to give Kyrou maybe 1 more year in the AHL, which means Dylan Sandberg would be our depth defenseman. We could use another right-hander, and that right-hander hopefully is Larsson. If it's not, we could bring back Tanev potentially. So that's likely what we're going to do for the defensive core side of things. And then, yeah, forward-wise, we need still more depth a little bit, so we are going to just bring in a 4th line right winger, depth center, and then obviously we are going to sign our RFAs to 1-year deals, Velarde and Kupari, and they'll be in the lineup likely this season as well. So let's go to free agency and see if we can get Adam Larsson signed. That's obviously our big priority here is getting Adam Larsson, but hopefully we could get some other good players in as well that could help us out with depth problems and stuff. So Adam Larsson, because I don't want, technically, if our team's going to be a playoff team, I don't want to rely on just Kyle Connor. I want our entire team being able to do well. I feel like LA and Tampa are both primed to give Larsson a 3-year deal, which I'm not really. I could give him a 2-year deal, considering we could flip him easily on a 2-year deal. So I might honestly, since we have a lot of cap space, just give him a 2-year deal at $6 million. So it's $1 million more than he wants. But he is signed here for only 2 years, and then we have the flexibility to trade him away if for some reason he like drops off or we don't really need him at that point. So yeah, Adam Larsson, 2 years by 6. I hope he accepts that, because right now he's wanting 3 by 6.1. So it depends if he really wants that extra year with those other teams. If he doesn't want that extra year, he might accept us because he's getting paid basically right around the same for less term. And then he could hit the free agency again a little bit earlier. But like I said, at least we have a couple other right-handers out there. We could even go for somebody like David Savard instead. So we do have other options if Adam Larsson doesn't sign, but I'm really hoping he does because he's technically the best by a good margin. Okay, let's find ourselves a depth center and also a 4th line right wing. See if there's anything intriguing. I'll also take a look in these free agent pools and see if there's anything that went undrafted that's interesting, because I normally forget about doing that, but usually there's some good low leads. As a depth center, Philip Kurashev actually might be the perfect option. We were looking at him before. He does fit all our forward lines too. Coming off a point per game season in the AHL, played 9 games the year before in the NHL with 5 points. 17 points in 20 games in Rockford. Yeah, he's a really good AHL player at least. So if for some reason we end up replacing him, we could use him in the AHL and he could maybe help out our AHL team. So yeah, let's go with Philip Kurashev as the depth option. He wants a two-way deal as well, which is really nice. So we'll give him a little bit more. But yeah, we'll give him that for sure. He's only 25 as well, so I do like that. I did like him when we had him in our Chicago series last year. So because I did sign him to an 8-year deal in that series, if I remember right, which was kind of funny at that point in time. And okay, a fourth line right winger. Do we have anybody that could fit like a good defensive role? Logan O'Connor, maybe. Let's see. 3-star defense. I want somebody with good defensive stats if possible, just to help out with like the defensive play. Christian Fisher. Let's see. Hey, Christian Fisher might be actually not that bad. 28 years of age. Doesn't want a lot of money. Did he even play last season? He did not play in all of 2024-2025. That's a bit weird. You'd think he would have been signed, but oh well. We're going to sign him, why not? He doesn't really want a lot. We'll bring him in as a fourth line option. And yeah, maybe that'll give us even some better depth. That would be nice. Okay, so I think that's all we really need. So obviously we need to see if Larson accepts, and then obviously we need to focus on our RFAs that are still holding it a little bit and get those guys signed up, and then hopefully our team is looking pretty good for next season, and maybe we could pull off a back-to-back. That would be pretty nice. Second, Yalby, or Janssen Fialby, not Yalby, and Milic for a second and a fourth. That's not bad, but at the same time we need Milic for the AHL, and Fialby is like a depth option for us at the moment, so I will not accept that, but I appreciate the offer there, Ottawa. Let's see, we're almost where Larson's going to accept. Let's see, please Larson, please. Kurashev has accepted. It's nice. Good depth piece. Christian Fisher as well. Oh boy, we're waiting until the 6th. That means there might be more offers on the table for Larson. Let's see. Let's take a look on the defensive side of things. 6 teams are interested in Larson now. Yikes. I wish I could rescind my offer and send him a better offer, because I don't like that there's other teams interested now. His asking price might have dropped. Maybe? No, actually, maybe it didn't. No, actually, I think it did. Because I think he was asking for over $6 million for 3 years, but now it's over $5 million. So if he gets $6 million from us for 2 years, he might want to accept that. But with there 5 other teams being in the mix, there is a chance that we might not get him. So let's see. Please, Larson, sign with the Jets. We came off a cup win. Don't you want to join a team that could win another Stanley Cup? Yes, you know, no, you don't. Oh, I thought that was us. No, Tampa Bay. Oh, man. We have the same color palette, so I thought that was us at first, and I saw the Tampa logo. I'm like, fuck. Larson. Tampa's not in the spot to win a Stanley Cup again. Come on, man. That's a big loss. I wonder how much he signed for. I might still have to try and trade for him, but damn, man. That was what I was hoping for this offseason, was him. Hey, Victor Hedman's still out there, so Tampa lost Victor Hedman only to replace him with Adam Larson, which is kind of intriguing. We could still go after Hedman. Does he fit our defensive core well? I know he's a left-handed D-man, but, it would be nice. 9.5 million. I mean, why not, right? David Savard technically is what we kind of need. It looks like we unfortunately can't get Tanev either, because Tanev must have signed somewhere. So, all these other guys are very old. Like, the top defenders in this free agent pool are all like 33 and older, or 31 and older. You know what? Because I don't want to bring in a 37-year-old Petrie, a 34-year-old Savard, a 37-year-old Johnson, or a 36-year-old Cole. Let's go after Victor Hedman. Why not? Then it's almost like we made a trade for Victor Hedman. So this will bolster our defensive core quite a bit. Yes, it will be kind of weird having Hedman and Morrissey, but I don't think I've ever had 290-plus overall defenders on the same team. Obviously, Hedman's going to be on decline soon, too. Obviously, we could do a 2-year deal, but I don't know if that's going to cap constrain us. Let's do a 1-year deal for him. Give him a little bit less, because there's not a lot of teams interested in him at the moment. So maybe we'll be able to jip him off a little bit on the price point. So 1 year at 9.5. I know it's technically not what we need as a left-handed defenseman, but like I said, might as well try and bolster our defensive core since he's there. Let's see. Come on, Hedman. Sign with the Jets. There was a trade. Ottawa has acquired Eric Howell and a 4th-round pick for a goalie prospect and Consta Hellenius, which usually pans out well in franchise, I think. Come on, Hedman, please. That's kind of funny. We literally let go of Mason Appleton, and immediately we're getting a trade offer for Appleton, who must have signed with the Washington Capitals. No, thank you. I don't know why the game always offers you your former players, it seems like. Like, that's always the thing I see. Hedman decided to reject the offer. The chemistry in the locker room is a huge deterrent. What? What do you mean? We literally just came off a cup win. You think our team would be happy? Let me take a look at the morale situation. 78%. You don't want to join a locker room that's happy? Wow, okay. Well, I'm going to still try and sign you anyways. I'm going to give you more than what you're asking for, but I don't know why you don't want to join this defensive core. Just because we lost a player or what? Your asking price is dropping off now too, which is kind of funny. So let's try and get you for $975. Still no other teams interested in him, so his price is just going to keep on dropping, which is good for us. But it would be nice for him to accept if possible here. Come on, Hedman. Just accept the money. Join our locker room. You could be the resolving factor for our team. Velarde's accepted. That's good to see. So we got one of our RFAs back. And once again, Victor Hedman does not like our locker room, which I don't get because we have a 78% locker room thing, right? I'm going to still offer him more than that, I guess. But his asking price just keeps dropping. There's no other teams interested, but he does not want to accept. 1 year now, he only wants an 8.875. Come on, dude. 9.9. I don't really care. We're just going to bring you in regardless. There's a lot of other defensemen I could go after, but I'm going after you because our team wants to go for another Stanley Cup win. I know you don't want to win another Stanley Cup. I get it. But still, you got to join this team. Tommy Novak, a 3rd for 2 seconds. That's not terrible, but I don't really know where Tommy Novak fits on this team, to be honest. The 4x4 is a bit risky. He's an 85 overall, though, at 28. Which is not bad. Only put up 46 points last year. Huh. I don't mind that contract on Novak. The thing is, though, we look at our center depth right now. What do we got? I mean, he would be an upgrade from Adam Lowry. But I would have to probably flip Lowry. Because I want to use Kupari as a 4th-line center this year. Kershev as a depth option. Could I make another trade with Lowry involved afterwards is the thing. I don't like the 4x4 really fully because he'd be 32 by the end of it, but right now it's not a bad contract. And I'm not going to do it right now, but if I get that offer in like a year or two again, maybe I would do it. Come on, Hedman, please. Okay, that's interesting, but we are going to match this offer. So Carolina wanted to go after Kupari. We are going to match that because it's not going to have any compensation anyways. So Kupari's on board, which is nice to see. Come on, Victor. Please, man. You're going to kill me, man. You're waiting like half the offseason to sign a contract. Again, you're going to reject it. Money may help change my mind. Apparently, this guy does not want money. We're throwing him a lot more than he's asking for. Like, his asking price keeps dropping. Maybe he wants to have that guaranteed 2-year contract. Which, am I willing to give it to him? You know what? I'm willing to give it to him because I could flip him easily, I think, to a team. So, you know what? We're going to give you the 2-year deal, and we are going to give you 9.6. So, you're getting less than what we were asking you before, but you're getting an extra year. Maybe he just wants some more solidity in that contract. I am really surprised he hasn't accepted yet. Usually, off-seasons in this series don't take that long. But he has been the main reason why this episode might be a little bit longer. We're probably not going to simulate too much of the season, I guess, at this rate, but oh well. There we go. So it looks like he wanted to have that extra year, I guess a lot. So Victor Hedman has joined the Winnipeg Jets. So now we have ourselves a very stacked defensive core with the addition of Hedman. You can see we got the 290s. We got Hay, we got Heinola, we got Roy and Ruda. And we also have Kyrou, who's likely going to get sent down for Sandberg just because I don't want to scratch Kyrou. Forward-wise, we do have our entire team set up as well. We're pretty good, I think, to sim up to next season, which is exciting. So let's do that. Get our lineup set up. I don't think we needed anything else in this episode. Maybe there was some scouts I had to sign. I don't remember. I got to double check on that. I don't think... Actually, maybe there was. Did I forget about bringing in some scouts? Let me just double check. Yes, there is. I think I wrote them down on paper, so I am going to have to sign some scouts here. But it looks like we're going to have to get some lower end scouts in and reassign them. Because I think I wrote down... Yep, okay, so that is the list. So we are going to have to find some scouts here. I will have to probably make a cut in this episode where I reassign them to different things. They're all C overall. Fuck, man. Oh, well, they'll get better throughout the seasons, but that's not ideal. Yeah, that's not ideal at all. I was supposed to do that at the first day of free agency, but I don't know if I asked you guys to remind me or if I just completely forgot, but let's assign ourselves 8 more scouts, and then I will have to assign them in this episode, I guess, to other leagues and stuff like that. So we got everybody in different leagues set up and ready to go, because obviously we want to start drafting well too once we get into that rebuilding territory. So we're on 7 right now, so we'll get Gunderson as well. Perfect. Okay, so those are the 8 scouts we need. I also have the regions they need to be assigned to once we get them signed, but almost completely forgot about that part of this offseason. Okay, let's send them up to next season. You see what we're looking at line-wise. Goddamn, I can barely talk. Line-wise. And I don't know how much of this season I'm going to sim. Maybe like the first 2 months, because I can't simulate too much at this rate, because this episode's already like getting closer to like 30 minutes at this point. So probably we'll do like another 1-2 months of the sim. No thank you. Not going to accept any of these offers. A 3rd and Kapanen for a 2nd and a 7th. That's not terrible, but Kasperi Kapanen's not really something I need. I already have a lot of good wingers at this point. We already brought in a couple, so don't really need to do so. Let's see. Okay, these trade offers are getting kind of annoying. Please don't send me any more offers. Oh my god. No, thank you. I just want to get to the start of the season and see if our lineup is looking good, which it probably will. I think it'll be almost on comparison to last year's roster in a sense. Obviously, it sucks that we didn't bring back Nick Ehlers, but I think it's good that give him an opportunity somewhere else. Okay. Yeah, our team's going to look pretty good here. Let's see what we got in terms of our lineup here. So, let's go with Perfetti down the middle. Velarde could play on the wing. I'll probably go with Barabanov as the top liner. Wait, +2. What about with Chinnikov? +3. Okay, Chinnikov will be the top liner. We will go with Barabanov on the right side. Michelli into the top 6, I think. Velarde will be on the 3rd line with Lowry and... Who else we got scratched at the moment? Khrushchev. Do we have anybody to call up? Oh, yeah, there was Lucius. That was the other guy I wanted to call up. Because Chaz Lucius is going to make his debut this season. Forgot to mention that. But Lucius will come up. And I don't think I'll send anybody down. We'll go to edit lines here. Best AHL lines for now. This is going to be an exciting team, I think. It's a band of misfits, pretty much. We'll go Christian Fischer on the 4th line. And then we'll take out Fialbi, because he's going to be more of the depth option. We will put Lucius into this spot. Okay, yeah, this is looking pretty good. Lucius actually is good on the face-off dot, but I do like Lowry down the middle instead because of his size. But this is looking really solid. This is looking really solid. Yep. Okay, so our forward core, Connor, Scheifele, Chinnikov, or it could be Perfetti. We could swap the 2. Barabanov, Perfetti, Michelli, Velarde, Lowry, and Lucius, Fischer, Gustafsson, and Kupari. I like it. That's a pretty good forward core. Defensively, no plus on the defensive side of things. Ooh, Hedman and Morrissey actually work well together, so we will put our top 2 defenders together because wine as well. We'll also run Roy with Nick Hague, and then Ruda's dropping off as expected with Heinola. Yeah, that's what we'll run with. Kind of sucks that Ruda's dropping off. So our defensive core not as strong as we were thinking, but I mean he's only a 78, so it's not terrible. Goalie-wise, looks pretty good as well. We didn't bring in a backup goalie like we were supposed to, but oh well. I think our backup looks fine too. Yeah, that's a good-looking team. Really good-looking team. Like, if this team is not a playoff team, I will be surprised. It'll be probably like what happened in Halifax. Let's go to edit lines in the AHL briefly. Nobody's scratched. Okay, everybody's in the lineup. Let's just make sure our top guys are in the right spots. So Barlow is up there. That's fine. Lambert's getting growth as well. That's fine. I don't think he was good at faceoffs though, right? No, he is. Okay. Never mind. Yeah, that's okay. We'll keep the AHL lines, I think, the same then. Cairo's pretty much NHL ready, but one more year should be okay for him. Yeah. This is looking nice. This is looking really nice. Both NHL, AHL. I like it. We have a lot of guys that might make the jump soon too. So I like that a lot. I will quickly make a jump cut in this episode where I actually sign up some scouts or edit the scouts' assignments. And then we will simulate like a month and a little bit of the season. So I'll see you guys in a second. Okay guys, so our scouts have been assigned to all of the leagues that we're missing ones in. Obviously their ratings aren't the best right now, but they should be good within a season or two, which is good. So we might still not get the best results in this upcoming draft, but that is okay for now. Let's sim through the preseason, and we'll simulate, like I said, 2 months. So we'll sim to like probably December the 1st, and we'll see where we're sitting at that point, just to see how players are doing. But yeah, that's probably all we'll simulate in this episode, just because it's already running a little bit longer than I was expecting, because Victor Hedman decided that he didn't like our team too much. And now look at this, Arizona's offering us Cam Atkinson, who is maybe a guy that we were looking at free agency wise, but I am not trying to trade for somebody that literally just signed a contract there. That's about very bad AI logic as well, to literally sign a player and then immediately try and flip them. Wow, we're dominating the preseason right now, as we probably should with our roster. 6-0-1 in the preseason. Love to see it. Hopefully the regular season's that good. 10 points in 7 games from Mark Scheifele. Okay. Now the question is, how are we going to do in the actual season? Let's do 1 month at a time, even though we're going to just do 2 months. Let's see where we're sitting at November the 1st. Come on, boys. Start off with a loss, bounce back with a win. That's good. Lost again. And Haig has already been injured. That's not ideal, but it does give Chisholm some opportunity to play. I think it was Chisholm. No, it's Sandberg. I'm thinking of Declan Chisholm in the minors right now for some weird reason. No, thank you. Not trying to make a trade right now. And let's see, 5-3-1, pretty decent, not terrible. We are in a playoff spot, not that it matters 9 games in, but not too bad. We should be well above 500 by the end of this month, because if we're kind of at the same stage, that's not ideal. But let's see where we're at December the 1st, and then we'll take a look at player stats and team stats to see what is going good for this team at the moment. And then that'll probably be it for this episode. I think next episode we won't even do the trade deadline in it. We'll probably take this season in 3 chunks again, just because of the fact we started, well, this offseason kind of took up a lot more than I actually expected. So let's see, how are we going to end off this month? Perfetti's been injured now. That's not an ideal injury to have, and he's out till almost the end of the month. So this might hurt our team a little bit. Actually, maybe not, because we've won 3 straight games, 4 straight games, and a shootout loss there, but that's still a point. No, thank you. Not trying to make any trades right now. Let's see, Perfetti is back. That is good news, considering he's a top 6 center. But at least Khrushchev should be a decent player in that type of spot as well, which is good. So Perfetti back in. Good stuff. What are we going to do against San Jose? We lose to them as well. Oh, we're on a little bit of a fall off right now. That's not ideal. 11-10-2 at December the 1st. We should be a lot better than that. We are in a playoff spot still, but only by a point. But we fell off a lot right there. We lose in a shootout, and then we lose 6 straight games in regulation. Or actually not 6 straight games, 5 straight games, because we did beat Detroit. But still, that's not an ideal start to the year. But, I mean, it could all of a sudden just go crazy good or crazy bad. So, I don't think we're going to obviously make any trades next episode, but we will probably still simulate more and see if we could get this team to being a bit better than that. Let's just still take a look at our player stats, see who has been doing what. So, Velarde's been actually really good this season. He is a pending free agent, so that kind of makes sense. Scheifele's been kind of quiet by comparison for where he's sitting in our lineup. Lowry's been decent too, pending UFA again. Chaz Lucius is having a great rookie season. 9 goals, 1 assist. Pretty solid. Perfetti on 6 points in 17 games. I didn't edit our special teams lines, but maybe our special teams need work. Khrushchev was almost point per game, which is good. Gustafsson doesn't put up a lot of points, either as Kupari. Yeah, there's some problems here early on. Kyle Connor on 21 points, Michelli on 10. Shinnikov on 17, Barabanov on 11, Fisher on 7, Hedman on 16, Morrissey on 8, Haig on 4. Oh, Ruda's having a rough year this time around. That's not ideal. Maybe we find ourselves a top 6 defenseman and Ruda becomes our depth defenseman instead of Sandberg. But Sandberg's been good defensively. And Hellebuck has been really good despite having almost a low 500 record. He's been phenomenal, actually. But Salmonen, not so much. So maybe we do still want to look for a backup goalie. So we definitely could make some trades next episode here early on. So finding ourselves a top 6 defenseman. And then, like I said, Ruda, I don't know what happens with him. Or we just hold on to Ruda. And maybe we look for a new backup goalie early in the season. Like, we are in a good spot right now, but we definitely don't want to be kind of staying right around 500 all season. Because then you might not make the playoffs. So let's take a look at our team stats quickly as well, actually. Because I want to see if our power play has been struggling. Let me take a look just at this screen. So 2.78. Yeah, our offense is not good right now. We're one of the worst offensive teams in our division. Our goals against, though, is actually tied for the best with the Colorado Avalanche. So we need to be a better offensive team. For some reason, we're not getting that right now. It's probably because our power play is one of the worst in our division. Penalty kill is actually looking kind of strong. So, yeah, I think it's definitely our power play that needs work. And then also we need to get that scoring 5-on-5. And then once we get that, we should be a good team. Like right now, I'll show you guys what our special teams are set up like for power play wise. And you guys gave me some suggestions on how to fix the power play, but I didn't even look at this yet. So this is what the AI had set up. If you guys think that we can make some changes to it, let me know. I don't think both these units look bad on paper, but they're not simulating well enough. So if we could get them to simulate good, that should hopefully carry our offense into being a better team offensively. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll simulate probably up to a day before the trade deadline. We'll see where this team's sitting, and hopefully we are trying to contend this season in a way. But if we aren't, we could obviously like trade away a lot of pieces and kind of go into that rebuild territory, which I was mentioning a few years ago. So anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.